Now, while more than 75% of U.S. adults have taken at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, vaccine hesitancy is costing lives.
Yeah, outgoing NIH Director Francis Collin told MSNBC's Ali Velshi that the U.S. underestimated vaccine hesitancy. Take a listen to more of what he had to say about it.
I wish we had somehow seen that coming and come up with some kind of a myth-buster approach to try to block all of the misinformation and disinformation that's gotten out there, all tangled up with politics, and which is costing lives.
For more on this, I want to bring in Dr. Jennifer F. Kelly, president of the American Psychological Association and founding director of the Atlanta Center for Behavioral Medicine, to discuss vaccine hesitancy and really what's behind it. Dr. Kelly, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. First of all, I think it's an important point that we're calling this vaccine hesitancy, not just anti-vaxxers, because people do get other shots.
Yep.
Exactly. It's specific to this shot. People are concerned with this shot. So let's dig into why. Part of it's misinformation about vaccines. There's a lot of conspiracy theories online. We're seeing certain populations who are not getting vaccinated, like police officers across the country. We're seeing women who want to get pregnant think they shouldn't get vaccinated. Do you think certain groups are more susceptible to misinformation? And if so, why is that?
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. Yes, I do think that there are some groups that are more hesitant to get the vaccine. One of the things that we know is that we have minorities, and especially the black population is much more likely to be hesitant to get the vaccine. And one of the things that we have found surprising is that we're finding that there are some healthcare workers who really know the science about it, know science, are hesitant to get it. And I think that a large part of that is the information or misinformation that's out there. At this time, we know that COVID-19 is a serious illness. And so those would want people who were more likely to be resistant to the vaccine in general, did not think it was a serious illness and did not trust the government. We do know that Blacks tend to not trust the government because of some of the things that happened historically with that population. Some are still waiting to see if the vaccine is safe or not. And then, of course, we know that there is much misinformation in social media. And that is helping to fuel a lot of this hesitancy.
Yeah, Dr. Kelly, that's the question I wanted to talk to you about, because research really does show misinformation, particularly on social media. When it's coming from your friends, your family, your inner circle, it can and does influence people's decisions on all sorts of things, the COVID-19 vaccine included. How important do you think it is for people to get their news from various sources, and how do you combat misinformation on social media?
Well, it is challenging to combat that because it is just so out there and it's part of everyday life now. And to many people, it kind of directs their decisions. One of the things that we know is that it would be important to have people go to sources, or the sources to come to them to give them the right information, such as talking with your physician. And we know that people tend to trust the physician that they're working with. Also the community leaders. And we know that those are people that they trust. So you want to have more trusted individuals to give them the correct information about the vaccines.
Absolutely.
Also, and churches are another big area, and we get more information from. So, I mean, we have these forces that are against us. And so we have to do everything that we can, because if we follow the science, we know that they are safe and they are effective, the vaccines.
Yeah. So, Dr. Kelly, I think, as Vicki said, since it's oftentimes you're getting information from someone that you know, or you're hearing what you think is a personal anecdote. Someone says, I know someone who XYZ happened to after the shot, or there's a lot of correlation going on that is probably not actually having anything to do with the vaccine. People hearing these different stories about things that have happened to them. So when we keep in mind the context that for a lot of people, they think something that their friend said, something that somebody at church said, to your point right now, how do you talk to someone when that is where they think their information is coming from? They think it's from someone that they know, and that's what's causing them to be resistant to getting the vaccine. What would you say to them?
Yes, because I have that in my practice a lot. One of the things that that you have to do with them is just be as patient as possible and just really try to understand what their concerns are about the vaccine, and in a caring manner. Because if you try to push them to get that, then you're going to have a lot of pushback, and they will be much more resistant to communicating with you what their concerns are and listening to you.
Good advice, really, across the board in general for any type of conversation, especially with someone you love. Dr. Kelly, thank you so much for this informative conversation. Great to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.